Coach, you played Georgia Southern last week, rivalry game. Your thoughts on the game against the Eagles?
Well, we came out with a lot of energy and a lot of juice, and that's what we needed to do because we jumped up on them, 3 scores right out of the gate in the first quarter, and we played pretty good. I think we left a little bit of offense on the table. The quarterback gave us a little bit of trouble on defense. He's an exceptional athlete with great running ability and one of the faster players in the league, but if not maybe the fastest. Special teams started out slow for us, and it's kind of been our Achilles heel the last 3 or 4 weeks, but we fixed it at halftime, and I thought we were excellent, in that area in the second half, which helped us win the game basically. So overall, we had, it was, they have a lot of great players on that roster, and they're pretty talented. So it was, I was really happy for our players and coaches. It's an emotional time here, and it was an emotional game like all rival games are. So extremely happy after the game and really happy for our kids and coaches.
And, Coach, your upcoming game is on December 3rd against Idaho. You have an open week coming up this week. What do you hope to accomplish during this bye week?
Well, number one, we've got a lot of kids that are banged up a little bit, like everybody this time of year. It's late November going into December, so we have we have to get some guys healthy, and we still got to be sharp. So we're practicing today and tomorrow, and then we'll give them a couple days off for the holiday. We have a lot of local kids on this football team, so they'll have a chance to go spend Thanksgiving with their family, and then we'll come back and get right to Idaho and get in the game week. So number one is get them a little bit healthier, still stay sharp. We'll have a couple practices. We start one here in about a half an hour. So that's basically what we got to get out of this week.
Coach, if you had a chance to look at Idaho, what really stands out to you about Coach Petrino's team?
Well, they're much improved, and I haven't been able to see them too much. We got to look at our game from Saturday, looked at and put that one away here in the next hour. But I peeked at them a little bit this morning, and they're a talented team. I worked with Scott Linehan, was basically the guy that got me into the Detroit Lions. So I know his son Matt really well. He was on our sidelines at Detroit the 5 years I was there with his dad, and I know what kind of player he is, what kind of competitor he is. I watched him play in high school, and he's a great kid, and his dad's, he's been brought up in the business, so I have a lot of respect for him. They have receivers that can run pretty well. Their defense is playing at a high level right now. They're a mixture of 4 down and 3 down, and they're pretty aggressive in the secondary. They're starting to blitz a lot more than they have been. They were more of a quarters shell on the back end, and now they're a little bit more pressure. So they're playing with some swag too, and they're playing pretty well. And I think they have a chance to win 7 games if I maybe and they're bowl eligible. So they're a much improved football team from what I saw last year.
Coach, Connor Manning finished the game with 318 yards, but your offense as a whole really started off the game strong. What was the key to getting out to that fast start against Georgia Southern?
Well, just finding seams in their coverage in their back end. They're talented. They've got some players. They were very physical. They had some safeties that were physical. They got a couple of young corners that are good players. So we had to find some seams in their back end, and we were able to find them through some formations. I thought we did a great job with our motion package and our formations. I thought we were able to get some advantageous matchups for our inside receivers on linebackers. So, I thought that really helped us. And we've been able to do that, for a couple of years. So that was good. We were taking advantage of that. We didn't run it great, but we ran it good enough to keep people honest. We don't run to throw the ball. We throw the ball to run. And some people, are just the opposite of that. But I think we throw it to run it, and that's what we did.
Coach, one final question before we let you go. Robert Davis, one of the best in Georgia State history at the receiver position. You're the receivers coach there, so what can you tell us about him over his career and over this season, what he's done?
Well, I think I've always said this. The day I got here is I looked at Robert Davis and I said, how'd we get him here? And he came from a high school offense that ran the football every down, and he was a kid that was 6'3", vertical jumps over 40 inches, tremendous athlete. He's gotten better every year at out of the top of his route and running routes. He's got great ball skills. I think he can play in the National Football League. I know when I was the receiver coach a couple 3 years ago at the Detroit Lions, he was better than our 3s and 4s. And so I know that he's got the skill set to go play at that next level. He's 214 to anywhere. It varies from 218 to 214 right now, this late in the year. So I think he started training camp at 220. And so when you have that kind of those measurables and that skill set, pretty much, he's a pretty dominant athlete, and he's a really good football player that's gotten better every year that I've been able to coach him. And he's probably a better person than he is football player.
All right, thank you, Coach Lappano. Those are all the questions we have for you this afternoon. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you.